All right, Michigan football has officially found something. And Sharon Moore knows it. I know it. And when I say it, all of you are going to know it too. And I think you already do. So here's the question that I have for you. Look at our defense, specifically our defense against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And I want you to tell me who was the player that stood out to you the most. Who's the guy? And who is the player you are most excited to see for the rest of the year going forward that has a potential to make a big, big impact? Give me who you think it is. Before we get into that, let me talk to you about just a couple of things. First, if you are new to this channel, my name's Craig. I started this. Me and a buddy of mine started another channel, Sports Talk Detroit. Got the Hutch jersey here for the Lions. We talk about Lions football, but I wanted to bring it to college because I love Michigan football. And here's the deal. I want to talk about it. And here's the other beautiful thing. And I do want to talk about this too before we get going on all this defensive stuff. Don't you just love when like college football blue bloods like play each other? Like I'm so excited. I was so excited about Michigan, Oklahoma. I'm so excited that we get to play Nebraska. You right? Like I'm really glad they're part of the Big Ten. I am so excited, especially when we get to beat them, because I'm still angry about 1997. We shouldn't have had to share it. I'm just saying. All right. But I love playing Nebraska. I love that we get to play Wisconsin most years. I love that we get to play USC this year. I think it's a ton of fun, the different matchups. And yes, I love playing Penn State and Ohio State and Michigan State, right? But like to be able to have some of these games, I love that we did the home and home with Texas and with with Oklahoma. It's just great. So anyways, let's get into this. And I want to talk by just making it clear, and I'm going to say something that head coach Sharon Moore said, and it's about Jaishawn Barham. When he talked about Barham's performance, he called him a freak and an absolute problem for other people. In fact, Sharon Moore believes Barham has the potential to be a first-round NFL draft pick if he continues his current level of play. Now, this article did a phenomenal job at talking about the difference between Barham. Because if I can be honest about Barham, he's always been a freak athlete. But when you're putting him at stack linebacker, when you're dropping him into coverage, he doesn't look extremely comfortable. He doesn't look as comfortable when it comes to the read and react type of stuff. Where he looks comfortable is when you get his athleticism going downhill and just over and over and over again. And we talked, and Michigan talked about Barham potentially lining up at edge. Okay, he'll play linebacker, but he'll line up at edge. But then here's what happened. All of a sudden, you realize Cole Sullivan is good enough that you can't really keep him off the field. You realize that Jimmy Rolder is good enough that you really can't keep him off the field. And Ernest Hausman's definitely not coming on the field. In fact, we even saw Bowles on the field more. We have 4 really good linebackers. So what if we just put him at edge? In week one, he played 19 snaps at linebacker and 2 at edge. In week 2, he played 4 and 20. But the past 2 weeks, Barham lined up almost exclusively at edge. He's been wreaking havoc and coming off the line compared to lining up a few yards behind it. Let's call it really simple. And the numbers don't lie. And it's not just Jaishawn Barham. When I watched the game against New Mexico, I got to be honest, I was disappointed and a little worried about what our pass rush was going to look like. When I watched the game against Oklahoma, I felt a little bit better because I felt like it was better even against better competition, but I was worried. And then watching the last 2 games against Central Michigan and Nebraska, this Nebraska offensive line that I don't think is great, but they're sitting there talking about how they want to win the Joe Moore Award for best offensive line and how they're in the best shape of their lives and conditioning of their lives and how this team is bringing back a lot of starters. And Michigan made them look silly. They made them look silly in this game. Dylan Raiola had Negative 49 yards rushing, just in case you were wondering, because sack counts against it. Now, this is in order of pressures. Pressure rate. All right, Derek Moore and Jaishawn Barham both had 6 pressures on the quarterback. 6. By the way, true pass set, Derek Moore did it over half the time that he was in the game. That's unbelievable. He had 2 sacks, 4 hurries. Jaishawn Barham had 2 hits, 4 hurries. They weren't the only guys. When you look at straight pressure rate, Jordan Mangum only did 2 rushes. He got 50%, 20 for Rolder Houseman. But when you get guys like Derek Moore, Dominic Nichols, Jaishawn Barham, all in that like 15% pressure rate and above, that's elite status. That's an elite status. And when you look at Jaishawn Barham as a player, all right, when you look at him as a player, according to PFF, he's 6'3", he's 243 pounds. He has the ability to add 5-10 pounds if needed to be, but he is at the point where he's getting big enough to be a pass rushing specialist in the NFL. All right, I didn't realize he was that big. I thought he was like 235. Like, I didn't realize he was in the mid 240s. All right, when you look at him, what he's been doing, what he's able to do, and the pressure rate, all of a sudden you start realizing, like, okay, when this guy gets to just pin his ears back and when he gets to just go at the quarterback, scary things happen. But he is still a linebacker. So when you look at that, you realize, like, okay, you can drop him back in coverage. Much easier than you could TJ Guy. And yes, I understand what Biff was saying when he was talking about TJ Guy and how, you know what, they just were running the ball a little bit more, so it was just a scheme type thing. And Guy got to play a little bit more. All right, he played more snaps in this game. He did. But and again, he was fine. He had a 10.5% pressure rate. He had 4 total pressures, but no hits, no sacks, just hurries. The fact is, Jaishawn Barham's just a little bit better than him right now. And Jaishawn Barham is a little bit better at dropping back into pass. Jaishawn Barham is just a little bit better at stopping the run. And it just so happens that Cole Sullivan and Jimmy Rolder aren't a drop-off at the linebacker position because they played linebacker as well as Barham. So Barham can wreak havoc on the defensive line, playing it at a higher level than TJ Guy. TJ Guy can become a rotational piece that you don't want to mess with. You don't want to mess with that. And so can Dominic Nichols, who's been playing well. All right, good pressure rate, only 6 pass sets, but he was in, and he'll continue to get in more. And you have good linebackers. This is a great find. All right, a great find with Barham, and an even better find when you put him next to Derek Moore. All right, hey, thanks for watching. We'll keep doing it. Hey, it's a bye week. Time to get this team even more right. All right, can't wait to see what they do against Wisconsin. All right, thanks for watching. See you probably tomorrow. See you in the next one.